Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. BTM here, bringing you another Age of Empires 3 match. In this match, it's a 1v1 on Great Plains. It's an OBS match, but I'm actually playing it with two friends and a Skype call with me observing it, and I'm in the Skype call, and the guy I'm playing against is in the Skype call. All four of us are in the Skype. Actually, three of us are in the Skype call. One of the people observing us is not in the Skype call. But that is why there's a little bit of a blue box at the bottom right, if you're wondering why. I didn't want to give away our private information on our names. We do have fabulous names. My name actually is in real life. My last name's Man, my first name is Big, my middle name's Thunder. I do not have a secret identity at all, so just wanted to clarify that. With that being said, okay, I don't even know what I'm going on about now, but that is indeed why there's a little blue box. We are in a private Skype call because we're not using TeamSpeak right now, or anymore, I should say. So, as the game starts off, I do start with 400 wood, which is great. It'll allow me to make all 4 more villagers I want for my 10-10 rush, which is very, very good. It means I won't have to chop wood to try to get a wood treasure. And I'm going to start off by, of course, gathering all the starting crates, getting my villagers from wood to food. And then, of course, I will, what will I do? I'll queue up 4 villagers, and I'll send both Indian scouts at separate ways around the map to start looking around. I'm going to just, kind of take stock of what I have, look for my herds. I didn't really have any good herdage this game, actually, and it was funny because the person I was playing against in orange, kicking bird, Caleb, he was whining about his herds as well. He was like, oh, I got the worst herds ever. But the guys who were observing us said, actually, I was slightly worse off, which was kind of ironic. But as you can see here, I find a 85 wood or 95 wood treasure guarded on the other side of the map by the grizzly bears. I'm like, well, I have to get that. As India, wood is a premium, so I do send my explorer to start walking over. And I do look at his deck. He hasn't picked, so then I'm like, I'm going to go to my deck. I'm going to pick. I just went for a standard rush deck. I'm going to do a 10-10 rush because I'm playing an Ottoman, which is something I didn't break down, but I'll break down here shortly as I, of course, go for the treasure and I look for my allies' deck choice, accidentally clicking on my own home city. And I see he has a deck that seems to be built either towards Abyss or a Fast Fortress, and I was inclined to think Fast Fortress mainly because there was a lot of powerful cavalry cards in the Third Age, so I was assuming he was going to go to the Fortress Age and try to do things such as that, but we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen. Ottoman cavalry in the Third Age, I should say, in the Fortress Age, Third Age, with Mamelukes and Spy, I don't know how to say them, but either way, it's very, very powerful and very, very effective. So I'm on the lookout and prepared for that. But anyway, an Ottoman versus India match is kind of interesting. It's a lot like that India versus India mirror I had yesterday on the channel, because it is going to come down a lot to positioning. It's going to come down to who can take map control and get better herdage. We're both pretty rush-orientated civs, so whoever can kind of get past that initial rush hump and survive it or win that rush, and then really take control of the map, will really be in a better position to win the game, I think, at least. That's the way I analyze it. Now, I did get a shipment there, and I didn't quite click on it right away because I wanted to get my explorers going again, and I was trying to take care of that. Not to mention, I needed to get my Agra Fort being built, and I do think you can age. There are some reasonable options to age with some other Indian buildings, and maybe I'll be trying that in the future. So I feel like Agra Fort is just kind of overused, but I'm not sure what it would be. I might age with the tower, but I'll be bringing that in a later video. Either way, though, that's non-quintessential to what we're talking about. What I was talking about was just kind of the balance of playing against a rush civ as a rush civilization. I think a lot of it comes down to, if you're going to have the faster rush, you need to put your forward base in a strong, defendable location where you can take control of the map around it, even if your rush fails. So for India, you get a fort, obviously, so you don't need to worry about it as much. But I do believe that, if you're rushing, you should be at a position where you can fall back to your barracks or the such, be defendable, but to the point where you're right outside his town, so the enemy you're rushing against doesn't feel comfortable with leaving his town, because you don't want him to be able to spread out and gather his resources if your initial rush fails. You want to kind of keep him clustered, whereas you can kind of control the map. That's my thought, at least. So that's why I build a direct, straightforward Agra Fort. I also built the Agra Fort there because I've had very bad herdage. I didn't see quite the amazing herds on the left side of the map like I did in the previous game, and I did see a good sized herd in the middle of the map. So my thought was, you know what, that's going to be the best spot for me to put that fort. That way I can get control of that middle herd and, have better map control. However, Caleb Kickenbird has gone for the double trading post option, which is very, very unique as an Ottoman. It's possibly very dangerous for him because the oh, pardon me. The danger for him is if he started with 400 wood and he went with a double trading post, that meant he had to chop a wood for a house, which probably will slow down his age time. So that's kind of dangerous right there. But as you can tell, double trading post isn't bad for him. I mean, it will give him a little bit of it will give him more home city shipments, so he could send 700 gold and then shipment in the Fortress Age really fast when he hits it, or whatever else he chooses to do. So it's not necessarily a bad strategy. I just don't know if it's better than building a house or a mosque straight away, because the mosque, remember guys, does give you some experience. So that's some interesting play on his part. He's not a bad player by any means, but that was an unorthodox move there to go for 2 trading posts. And he could just be doing it because he knows that I like trading posts a lot, even though I haven't built them lately. I am kind of known. Trading posts are my thing, like BTM goes for trading posts. So, but we're going to have to see how that plays out. Now, I do have some set boys out on the map. I'm going to make some more set boys. I'm going to send 600 wood from my home city. I'm going to use it to build houses and villagers and the such. And I'm going to kind of send my few set boys out to go just start getting some damage on that trading post he built. Maybe I'll take it down before he gets there. Maybe I won't. Did I not send 600 wood? No, I decided to send the wood trickle card. You know what they say about wood? Send a man 600 wood, he'll build 3 houses, a market, and a consulate. And if you send a man a wood trickle card, he'll build an empire. Actually, I just made that phrase up. I don't know if that's an actual phrase. It should be, though. It sounds like something somebody smart would say. But as you can see here, I'm going to split up my Indian explorers again, just kind of finishing scouting out the map. We've covered literally the entire map really, really fast, which is good for us. We now know where literally all the herds are, more or less, and we can see, what's going on. The plus side of seeing all the herds, of course, is that if Kickenberg does, of course, start hunting anywhere on the map besides his base, we're going to see the dead animals through the fog of war, and we're going to be able to attack them, and that's a good thing. So I am just, of course, attacking that trading post there, and we do see that he upgrades a trading post, so he is going for kind of like a quasi trading post boom with 2 Great Plains trading posts, which is simply a phenomenal strategy. Personally, I love trading posts, so I love the kind of trading post boom idea. That makes me very, very happy. As you can see here, they're just continuing to remap my explorers. I'm knowing at this point, it seems like he's playing more boomy. I am expecting them to hit the Fortress Age now because he's gone for the trading post boom. I'm just going to keep pumping out some set boys, but I will be mixing some Gurkha soon. As I've said in all my previous videos, only noobs go for 1 unit exclusively. It can be very, very weak, and it allows you to be easily countered. You want a good, healthy unit combination and some fancy micromanagement to keep you alive. Now, I do know exactly where his town center is, but I did want to go actually see it with my own eyes, or at least my elephant's eyes. But seeing something through your elephant's eyes, guys, is just as good as seeing something through your own eyes, because elephants are actually the smartest animal. They don't, forget things. So if you did train an elephant to go scout for you, as I have, they would be very, very likely to see something and remember it. Now, the trick, of course, would be communicating with the elephant afterwards. But I digress. Either way, I'm about to start making some Gurkha, which is good, because he's gone with some Abyss gun, which is kind of interesting. I was really expecting him to go to the Fast Fortress. I was saying at this point, wait, you have Abyss. I thought you were going Fast Fortress. But clearly, he's got some Abyss on the field. He sent the gold, but he has popped at least 5 Abyss. So the chances are he's not going with a Fast Fortress, which means I will need to start making some Sowars. So I am, of course, instead of building a Carniversary right away, I am going to start working on a consulate. Actually, I did the consulate because I want to get the land unit's health points bonus, and then I was going to build a Carniversary soon. Actually, I do build one very, very soon. I also built a market. Spoiler alert, market gets built. I know, right? It's such a novel concept, market. But as you can see here, I'm going to keep massing Gurkhas, keep working on building up my infrastructure just a little bit. I do ship the 4 Sowars. That's going to give me a little bit of an advantage over those Abyss. Even if the 4 Sowars won't be able to kill all his Abyss, he will run away, or at least have to respect them. I did accidentally grab one there because I was trying to grab one of these villagers to build myself a Carniversary. So I realized at this point pretty solidly, oh, he's probably going pretty solid on the Abyss. And there comes a market. So if you were observing this game, which would have been kind of cool to see, you would all of a sudden just see buildings from me start popping up everywhere, like boom, 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 big building boom going on. Meanwhile, I'm gonna make some more set boys. And I am going to choose the British ally. I don't know if British actually was a better ally. I know that one of the allies, I think, gives you some cavalry. That might have been a better choice. But as you can see here, I tried to click on several improvements, and it didn't work, actually. So I definitely kind of messed up there. Not the best play by me. But as you can see, I get in a little bit of a tussle with him, but it's okay because he runs his Janissaries into my major army, and my Sowars look like we're going to be able to find his Abyss. So even though his booming ideas with the trading post were good, it kind of backfired on him because he spent 200 extra wood and food to upgrade them, but then he lost it fairly quickly, so it didn't really give him as much benefit as it could have. It kind of actually wasted some resources. He lost at least 200 wood on the deal. You could even make an argument that he lost all 400 wood and 200 food, although he would get that paid back eventually through the one trading post he controlled. But at this point, I do vastly outnumber him, and I do have him on the run. My Sowars are kind of cleaning up a little bit, and I have a pretty good amount of buildings. I wanted to get some redcoats on the field, but that wasn't happening. So not the end of the world. We're going to ship 5 Step Boys, and we're going to kind of pursue him back and just start taking advantage of him and trying to just close out this game before, you know, it drags on. I really don't want him to hit the Fortress Age and send any powerful units that will decimate my army. Unfortunately, I was having a little bit of trouble micromanaging, just getting everything quite right, but it wasn't the end of the world. I do keep working to make sure there's villagers, and now that I have map control and I'm in his base attacking him, and he's going to be responding to me, I feel comfortable sending my villagers out to the herds on the farthest extremes of the map. Now, at this point, I walked away, which was a mistake. It was a mistake. I should have stayed there, and I should have burned the houses. I should have popped him. So that was a very, very big new mistake on my part, because if I had stayed in his town and popped his houses, popping your houses basically means when you destroy them, what it does is it takes away 10 population from him, and popping yourself is when you can't build more units, or you can't build more units because you don't have enough room. If I destroyed his houses, I would have gone into a very, very good situation. It would have really kind of crippled him in terms of growth, so kind of not the best choice by me to not stay there and just siege the houses, considering that I completely killed his army. If I had done that, I think this game would have been over a little bit faster and a little bit quicker than it has been, and it definitely wouldn't have allowed him to counterattack or do anything really creative. But as you can see here, I have a little bit of an army on the right, and I have my bulk of my army on the left. And my goal here, and the guys observing were like, "What are you doing?" My goal was at this point, because I realized I hadn't popped him like I should have, my goal was to kind of draw him to the right side of the town and see if I could kill some villagers on the left. So that's what I was doing. I started sieging the barracks. Meanwhile, I have my pretty decent sized army on the right side of the town, now going to march in. Unfortunately, I'm doing that just as that trading post or that trade wagon thing is coming in. So chances are that he does indeed see me. So it's not going to be as effective as I probably would have liked. But it's not the end of the world. Either way, here comes 5 Abyss. So it'd be interesting to the obs. I probably could have, again here, killed those Abyss or, you know, stayed in and really tried to finish him off. But I didn't. I ended up pulling back and playing a little bit too conservative in my opinion. But that's because I'm a very, very conservative player. Meanwhile, at this point, I'm going to start maxing out as many Sowars as I can. I just didn't feel as in control as I probably was. And that's just the way I like to play it. I like to take things at my own pace. Kind of like the idea of bleeding the enemy dry rather than, you know, going for that decisive big killing blow. I do have one trading post built though, and I'm going to build the other, and I do now have the advantage, of course, that he already upgraded the trading post for me, so that's just going to further my economic cause. And I built the market, and I didn't get the market upgrades, which again, mistake, but I had planned to. When I first clicked on it, I just couldn't, and then I forgot about going back there and doing it again. I do have the consulate giving me a 10% hit points boost. That's a pretty big change. That's a pretty big boost for me. And I have shipped 2 flail elephants from my home city, which will really make my sieging efforts go pretty nicely. As you can see here, Kickenbird has at this point, or Caleb, has at this point thrown up a tower though, so he is pretty determined to kind of slow me down, stall me. So my point is, okay, I'm just going to come in from all angles here, see if I can mess him up a bit, and just finish it off finally. But I end up running away again. I probably could have won it, but I'm like, yeah, I can make 5 more. I'm gonna make 5 more Sowars and really kind of finish it off. And I'll make more villagers and do all the good old stuff. And I do finally, of course, buy some more market upgrades. But I did actually have my flail elephants walking forward, and I was like, ugh, noob. So I didn't play well. If I had stayed in and popped his houses, it would have been a better position. Because what we've done here now is we've let him mass up a large amount of units over some time, which was not wise. But it'll be okay because now we have a pretty good chunk of Sowars coming in, backed by some infantry, and then we'll have some flail elephants to help take out the units. Not to mention that I have 6 infantry on the other side of his town, give or take. Maybe they're 4 now, but there is some infantry on the other side of his town to shoot at things and to keep him from pushing back too far if he decides to run away. And I, of course, have more Sowars, exactly one, on the way. Furthermore, Unfortunately, though, the Sowars kind of get caught up in the pathing with the houses and the tower and the nonsense there. So he is able to kill quite a few Sowars just from a range because the Sowars don't close efficiently. But the last few Sowars I have are kind of doing a pretty good job, and they are pursuing pretty well. And after that tower goes down, I will pursue him with the rest of my army. And then, of course, the 6 infantry I had on the right side of this town burning the barracks had taken down the barracks, and now they're going to go and help polish him off, so to speak, if you will, and lock down his army to win. But I definitely should have just stayed in initially in the initial attack and just gone for his town center. That would have been a wiser move, in my opinion. Pomayamu, that's in my opinion in Russian. But as you can see here, I'm just going to kind of queue up some villagers last minute to make my economy just look slightly better. And it was a fun game. At this point, I'm just going to go for his town center and more or less just wrap up the action. Of course, will make some more units, but it's okay for sure. It was a well-played match. India versus Otto. He kind of played it a little bit risky, going for the trading post initially rather than going for a faster rush. So you live and you learn some, and it is going to be GG more or less at this point. And he actually ends up telling me over Skype GG. So you're just going to see me all of a sudden type GG, and it's not me being a jerk like, oh, you need to resign now. It's like he said GG. I was responding in the chat to him to what he already said. So it was a good fun game. He whined a lot about the herds. He was like, oh, the herds on my side were awful. But from the people spectating, they said I had worse herds, which I thought the observing matches or the observing map was supposed to not have awful herdage, but I guess it does. So all around is a really good, fun, clean match. It's fun to play with friends. It's fun to play mirrors. At this point, I was actually sitting and talking. We were breaking down the game a bit. He was telling me just about why he went double trading post. He really wanted to kind of boom a little bit more. He said he felt that was a good choice. I, of course, was like balls to the walls rushing, which is something I was not as aggressive as some people were, but for me, I was pretty darn aggressive. I'm usually not that aggressive a rusher. Also, I started with 400 wood, which really helped me just rush even quicker than normal. So that all went pretty well. All around, it was a good match. Match 2 of my India series this week. We will be bringing some more India matches. As you can see, the awards is a solid wall of blue, except for most units lost. But all around, it was a good, fun, and clean game. And we will, I will definitely be bringing more India stuff. I don't think with India, though, you need to age with the Agra Fort every time. Let me just say that. The Agra Fort, 25 attack, a bunch of hit points, a 4 barracks. It's really quite amazing. But I feel as though there are some situations when not aging with an Agra Fort are viable. Not 100% sure what those situations are, but I'm going to find them and I'm going to do them. I could almost see aging with the Agra Fort into the 3rd age being a better choice. Possibly, but not sure. But that's going to be things we explore later in my India week. Stay tuned, guys. There will be a British video up later today. But before I go, let me give you the quote of the day from Sun Tzu in The Art of War, and it is, knowledge of the enemy's disposition can only be obtained from other men. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is BTM, aka BigThunderMan, and I would like to thank you personally for watching my video. Please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. And until next time, good luck and happy hunting. BTM out.